Greetings in the name of the Most High. I've got some really just terrible things going on outside, inside, in dreams. The topic today, Lizard Index still off the charts, so there you go. Topic today, GangStalking 101. And we don't have to get into the spiritual side. We're going to look at the military side, the military training side of GangStalking and infiltration. And as it relates to the TPUSA. And you have to understand, though, there's always a spiritual dimension in GangStalking. You know, even if it's just like bad vibes, that you'll fall for it, that you'll get tricked by it, okay? Because a lot of it is a confidence game. I had heard from Candace Owens about this couple that bought a gym near a military facility that specializes in psyops. Okay, right? The Huachuca facility. I can't read it. Is it psyops?
Huachuca.
Psyops?
Huachuca.
Yes or no? Psyops? Is that what you're saying? Okay. And so this couple get a gym, and then there's another, you know, and they're going to church, maybe a Calvary Chapel or something like it. And they meet another couple that is all enthusiastic about the gym and training. And soldiers will go down there, and they'll need the gym. They'll train for about 4 months, 6 months. And so they're all excited to invite this couple to invest. And they matched the investment. So they became founding members. They all had thrown in the same amount of money, relatively. But what happened is, after a few months, it turned into what Candace was saying was a hostile takeover. And the reason I'm listening to Candace is I'm listening to the follow up on it's really the Fed's point of view and the unfortunate mainstream so-called truth teller point of view versus Candace's questions regarding the death of Charlie Kirk, which apparently, whether it's Alex Jones or anyone else, none of these people seem to be able to answer anything. And now they've given, you realize yesterday they got the green light, TPUSA. So they are now launched. And I just want America to know, American Christians to know how stupid you are. You know, you're the most stupid fucking blight on this earth that has ever been, more than any Satanist could ever be. So let me go start with that. And I'm sorry, but it's because you look the other way on pedophilia, human trafficking, corrupt business practices, and of course the whole experience with Charlie Kirk. But I mean, this is all very general. But these evangelical churches, like Calvary Chapel is named because because the head pastor, the guy who tried to also do a hostile takeover of TPUSA, was the head pastor at the Calvary Chapel in Thousand Oaks, California, named Rob McCoy. I've dealt with their pastors. I've dealt with their whole organization, and it's corrupt to the core, to the absolute core. I mean, they make TBN look like angels, but it's because they indulge in nefarious, satanic, they have a pattern of infiltrating, like infiltrating TPUSA, for example, like infiltrating and where McCoy at one point tried to apparently appoint himself the founder of TPUSA and take it away from Charlie Kirk. So, I mean, you've got all this stuff. But anyway, in this case with the couple, so they launched like a hostile takeover. The couple, the original investor, the original founders lost the gym to this couple that came in, and they used, infiltration techniques, and they're classic gang stalking techniques. The kind of gang stalking techniques that I'm going to get deep into this, so we're going to have some fun here today. The kind of gang stalking techniques that Randy Quaid talks about with respect to the business managers and accountants getting hold of deeds to the mansions that they have, and then, buying and selling them for themselves. And also just incidentally, the deaths like Heath Ledger and other celebrities at the same time. He called them star whackers. He didn't have the nomenclature for gang stalking or it's a little known thing because, first of all, it's a military psyop. They learn to infiltrate, become your best friend, and then turn you. They can infiltrate TPUSA and then turn them. Yeah, but, to me, it looks like most of the people that are already corrupt are already running it. And turn them. And the test for the Christian is, do they figure it out? And the answer is, as Trish was asking me earlier, she was saying, do you think that even with all this stuff coming out about, the cover up of the assassination, all this stuff, when it comes out, will they finally get it and understand they're part of a corrupt organization, something the Lord would never tolerate, and that it basically is a corporation based on idolatry of celebrities, which are made within each chapter has its leadership, and those leaders are pretty much worshiped, just like pastors. And I was, so anyway, the signs are there. They'll invite you in, you sign up, they come to your home, they see that you have posters on the wall of heavy metal. They want those taken down immediately. They want to basically mind control you from the ground up. They don't break you down to nothing and build you back up, but they do break you down somewhat in the sense that they want all people who are there to be basically conformed conservatives, conform to the world system, conservatives able to make a dent in the onslaught of what they consider pure evil, which of course would be, say, the Democrat, communist, globalist machine. The thing is they put themselves as better than that. And of course, that's where you get into trouble. Anyway, the gang stalking that goes on is obviously, we've seen a lot of that in our culture. People that don't conform get targeted and then, canceled and whatnot. And people that do, they tend to last longer. Now, what I've come to understand about TPUSA is that, they make offers to people to come be a part of their organization, to buy them. And in exchange for all the perks that you get, they just require you to look the other way on evil, to just be a good hang, to not cause trouble, but to just go along to get along and receive your millions of dollars. And, just like they would with any talent, to recruit it. And Erica Kirk, it's not, surprising. People have seen demons crawling out of her right and left. And they keep running. She actually last night spoke in Phoenix and had the same fireworks going off on the stage as during the Charlie Kirk memorial. Did you know that? Had I joined them and then went to one event and then went to that one. Had I seen that, I would take my family and leave immediately, knowing that they're after my children. They're after my mind. They want to fuck everybody up to the point where they're afraid to say anything. And then operate as a political cabal in the world that has nothing to do with the will of God. And who they've selected, apparently last night, for President of the United States for the next round is J.D. Vance, who I guarantee you will lose. He has nothing, absolutely no charisma, nothing. He sounds pretty good, but up against anybody else at this point, after all the shenanigans Trump has run, these guys are holding on to this idea of the midterms. I actually think the midterms are a foregone conclusion. I think that they were already lost, and I believe they were planned to be lost. I believe it's planned for Trump to step down, and anyone like him. And that's the deal that was made, probably to save his family or to, I don't know, whatever reason people do things. And so if you look at this, I don't even know what you call someone like Erica Kirk. She's such a monster that it's a female version of Adolf Hitler. I don't know. But the idea that these people say they follow Jesus and can't see that also puts, unfortunately, Mel Gibson in the spotlight of being a blind fool. Glad he's doing the Jesus thing, but he never really has been, nothing's really been right. The whole Catholic contingent or them or TPUSA or Calvary Chapel, any of it has never really been right. And my proof is going to be the way that we're going to be treated very soon. Will show the wrath of God. And all I can say is, when I look at everything, it's sort of like, well, what would have had to have happened to have avoided the wrath of God, to avoided, the bloodbath to come and some of the problems that will be coming up? Probably it would have just been people being pure-hearted and honest, about their situation. And the Bible is completely dedicated to the idea of loyalty. In other words, conforming to Christ, conforming to the world. Which one? And you know what you've done. People know what they've done. And but I just don't think people are honest, at least not in America. So it's a terrible thing watching this, the kind of train wreck coming in slow motion. But I mean, watching the TPUSA, that they go right on with Erica, and then she's right there in the driver's seat with the fireworks and whatever other kinds of things she's doing. And her amazing vitriol, this kind of hidden anger that comes out through her eyes, is absolutely not just inappropriate, but it would have to be a warning sign to all Christians. The majority of these people, these kids from school, the recruits, they're blindly following orders. This is some kind of army of God is what they think they're doing. And they're going to go up against the army that's going to fight the Antichrist or whatever. That's what they believe. Charlie, the founder, wasn't so savvy about the world and about his situation, which is how I believe he got in trouble and wound up dead, i.e. in taking money and then refusing to kowtow and so forth with Israel and I'm sure others as well. But the gang stalking that's been such a part of this It's a really big part of the federal government. Okay, of infiltration, destroying character assassination, and then taking over hostile takeovers of anything, and including especially TPUSA, who I believe they feel they have the right person there in Erica Kirk. And it's a really, I see people going back and forth. I see people attacking Candace Owen, who's so far today I've listened to the points she's put out there wanting clarification on. And nothing is, unusual, nothing outrageous, nothing, other than logical questions about what happened. And because she doesn't believe it was the single shooter, then how far does the conspiracy go? And she's running into a brick wall. And the whole idea is to run her out of time where people get tired of her and they're going to go with Erica. But anyway, I see they've gone with Erica now. Candace has been, in a sense, rejected. And that's the other thing I saw. So that's why I had to say something. Because that's a big thing that most people, 100% of the people miss. And, it begs the question, you should just stop looking for anything, because everything that happens, you miss anyway. Okay, this weekend is the solstice. Does anything matter? It's not your fault. It's not my fault. It's our society and brainwashing and all that. And like I said, I wanted to get into the subject of GangStalking because I wanted you to understand what the whole point of TPUSA is. It's GangStalking. TPUSA is GangStalking of the future. And I'm looking at Eric Kirk. And, yep, there goes the fireworks. Okay, kids, wife, let's go. We're out of here. No? Then what's your justification for being there? It's not Jesus, so fuck that shit. Don't lie to me. Tell me the truth. Why are you there? Why? You want to save Trump's career? That ship has already sailed. One of the problems, and I did the math early on, for Trump's policies to come online and really fix everything for everybody, where everyone's stoked about the golden age, it would take a little more time than the midterms. And he doesn't have that time. What do you want him to do? He's corrupt with Jeffrey Epstein. Well, everybody's corrupt with Jeffrey Epstein. So what else is new? You got someone else? Then you better name him, her, it now. Because you're out of time. So go ahead. Put some names out there, people that would do a much better job, in this complex battle that we're all in. No, there is no one better on the economy than Trump. And, perhaps there are people better with social issues. As far as, Venezuela and all the rest of it, Trump's playing them like a fiddle and scaring, the Congress, which he wants to do, into, hopefully submission and getting the United States to be a place based on the rule of law and law and order. Don't think it's going to happen. I don't think there's enough time for it to happen. I think the problem is not Trump, it's the people are the problem. They're sitting on their ass doing nothing. So, don't blame him, please. Blame that. Are you sitting on your ass? Well, then you're responsible. Well, this thing's going to go into the drink, and then what? We should just starve to death. I'm fans of the nomads. The nomads are driving they're selling everything they have. buying like old vans, school buses, UPS vans, whatever, and fixing them up to stay in them and driving out to Quartzsite, Arizona, where they can stay through the wintertime and, trying to make, some kind of life out of it. It's a growing population of people, and it's there because our society has failed. The golden age would be a wonderful thing for a reset, and give people a chance to take a breather, and give people a chance at making money, having money, being able to make their own decisions financially and things like that. But alas, it may be denied because the people don't deserve it. Why don't they deserve it? Because they have no loyalty to God. They got the call to leave the churches because they're corrupt, and they did nothing. They sat there, with their thumb up their ass, doing nothing. Then they went home after, where do they go? Denny's or something. And then they go home, where they sit on the couch until they're supposed to go to work. And then work, make sure it's not too challenging. And they do their work. And then they come home and they go, I'm really looking forward to Disneyland this next week. And so are the kids. We might take a vacation and go through the federal parks. What do you think about that? Like the Grand Canyon, huh? Well, that would be great. So they keep looking for the serial killer. But anyway, I just thought I'd let you know that they have the powers of gang stalking go. The psychological operations go into your dreams, into your thoughts, into your spiritually. You can't have one without the other. It's just one thing. So last night, in my dream, I was being messed with for something by TPUSA. And something was happening that they weren't attacking. They were putting like millions of dollars in my bank account and running interference, making sure that I had all the projects I want to do produced. And, I'm just, fabulously successful person, whatever, which would be the opposite of what God has me doing here, which is to be the worst and to be the lowest, but keep going, despite no chance of ever achieving anything. Yeah, that's what God wants to do, and I was doing it. I was going along with that, and happy to for any little victory is, just try not to be competitive feeling with when people start recommending films and things from highly produced, highly backed people that have millions of dollars behind them. And I feel like saying to them, it's really not fair to compare these people with these struggling people who are just trying to do art and being kicked in the face all day, every day. It's kind of an insult to start putting that which the world calls genius in front of them and then watching them squirm. It must be fun if you're a sadist. Well, or stupid, or both. And they told me, they said, they showed me also me dead in a car and with other people. I guess they're people I knew, but I couldn't tell who they were. Strapped in a car and just shot to death. And they said, well, the choice is yours. TPUSA, that is to me. And, it's nice to sleep in and not not have to worry about your whatever project you're doing till a nice hour where you're ready to deal with it and have open doors waiting wherever you go. It must be nice. And then it's like, so what are you going to do, Z? All we're asking is you to look the other way. And you can have all this. We have enough power to make you a billionaire. And all you have to do is do this. So they're now also becoming, just tangentially, they're becoming the king makers, queen makers. And it all just kicked off last night. So I thought, well, they don't need me to comment on it. You obviously all have been watching this because this should be the thing you pay attention to. It's the biggest thing going on. So I would think, well, if it's that big, you got to look at it. Well, because it will eventually affect the whole world. It will change your whole world unless you're going to go live in a cave. Live in a cave and answer to no one. I suppose that's another possibility. But you have to go full homeless to do that. Plenty of people are. I'm not criticizing it. Plenty of people are. I don't blame them for dropping out one bit. I understand. This society is very cruel. But the cruelest thing that they've ever developed was gang stalking on a satanic level. That means that your soul is in play and dimensional portals are at play and all the tricks up Satan's sleeve are at play anytime they run a program on you. I thought I left my keys over here. They're over there. I didn't put them there. Did someone move them? I thought my mother was in this hospital. You have no record of a mother. No record of a mother? There is no mother listed. No mother listed. You've never been here before. With the hospital? You've never been here before. You better go now before we call the police. And then there's the brave young ones out there with their phones who are leaving the hospital they're not supposed to know anything about and filming people stalking them. They love to get the patterns of cars, one on point, two on the side, two on the flank side, and one on the six, and show that pattern as they're driving. And then eventually confront the perp, Why are you doing this to me? What am I doing? I'm not doing anything. And so these guys are rampant. I guess the reason it's being mentioned is because this sort of thing over the holidays really drives people nuts. So it's on. And that's all I have to say about it. It's hopefully you'll, if there's another gospel, we are to leave. I'm only calling you stupid because if you stay there, despite your better knowledge of it, that's a good way to lose everything, including your soul. So I'm giving you a warning, and hopefully you'll have to just take it up with God. I mean, not me, but use your discernment with the Lord in prayer to figure out do you even know any of your friends? Are those really your friends? Though you have no connection with anyone that's around you. Whoever, I don't know who I'm talking to, but somebody. You have no connection to any of them. They're not who you thought they were. I don't know that we'll ever get an answer on this. But TPUSA is ground central for this sort of training. Just waiting for you kids. The nightmare. I'm here to give a testimony of the nightmare that I just had. And I'm still, bleary with the glasses. I'm sorry. It's just a thing. Hopefully there'll be a catching up of rest eventually. But I believe that I have been electronically zapped, or if you like, ironically, I don't think I'm in any program right now, but it's as if I'm in some kind of program because I notice my phone is in proximity to my bed, kind of plugged in over to the side. But the thing is, it's been making a lot of noise and and this is going to sound, we'll just call it a paranoid nightmare. Okay. And this goes beyond, familiar people, faces, warnings, things, good people evil people that are good people that are, look at me, good people that are evil. I thought I should get the testimony down before I forget it, because I've been having these nightmares now for the better part of a month, Trish. They're not normal. They're like induced, and many of them will begin early in the evening, when I conk out finally, and they will go step by step as if structured, like a structured screenplay or a novel or a short story, and they will go all the way to the end. That would take all night and end in, when I'm awakened at, 3, 4 in the morning, whatever time that is, I start stirring. And it's as if the first batch, we're telling these long stories, but they would be a beginning, a middle, and an end. And if I got up and went back to sleep, got up to pee or whatever, got back to sleep, it would begin right where I wound up, right where I started. Now, that's never happened to me in my life before. It feels, it's been imposed upon me. The phone's also doing all kinds of buzzing, and lights are going, even though it's upside down, you can see the lights going on and off under there. And so I figured, maybe I picked one up, Maybe we picked one up. Not my first rodeo, but I can tell you this electronic stalking is electronic harassment, which is, I'm going to remove the phone. The phone's as good as removed, okay? And probably just turn it off and put it and bury it under in some kind of a shield, a Faraday cage, and then bury it 30 feet under the ground. I don't want this anymore. I don't like it. I think at first that it tried to make me think that these were normal dreams. And then as time went on, finally it got to the punchline, which is trying to test for dissociation. And just happens to be the topic I'm on. And even people I'm dealing with were talking about dissociation. And it's so weird that the very milieu of all the thoughts and words and people and all their ideas and their thoughts and their words, and it all gets put into a very interwoven package. And so my mind is dealing with packages of information because it involves everything and everyone cosmic wide, and yet no one. Well, those who don't know, I can't explain it. So a lot of it I can't explain, but I can go on and just finish. Okay, so this one was very strange. No, it's not about AI music and AI animated feature films or animated or replacing humans or whatever. It's not about that. Though it has a theme that you could extrapolate to that, but that would not be honest or be dishonest. And I've had to test it. Now, I wouldn't give you the testimony if that's what it was. So it starts off the bat. There's this controversy because there are people, more than two different people, getting Grammy Awards. Now, I know it's going to sound very ridiculous, but right now I'm not happy. Okay, so at least let's deal with that. And it's for no music. No, not for AI music, not a switch, not a bait and switch. It's got nothing to do with it. Zero, zip, nada, don't go there. That dog won't hunt. That's it. That's not it. That's not it. It's for no sound, for no instrument, for no vocal, for no lyrics, for no music. The Grammy Award this year. And two that were competing both had no music. There's another component to it, if I remember it, we can go through that, where there was some kind of award given for it dealt with another thing that was no longer there, like the best, okay, like architecturally the best house built, okay, only there was no house. Now, ordinarily I would let it go, but see this, I've been talking to Trish, about the about the progression of this, right? Haven't we talked about it, about Trish? The progression of this over the weeks until now now it's gotten dangerous. Which all things do, right? All things lead to danger. So the word is disassociation. What I believe is happening is that what's happening to me electronically is an attempt to get me to dissociate with reality and plug in a different reality. And it's the very thing I'm researching. And they must have gotten on to me on my six, you know what I mean? Just because I was flying too close. Any of you fly close? Those of you who cower away from flying close? Well, you people that cower away from it are pretty smart, aren't you? Because you know the danger. Because, yeah, they get on you, and then now here we are. And I expect then, of course, the reverberation effects go with what I hear, what's on the radio, what's on the television, what's in the milieu, what's in the news. And it all connects in this nightmare scenario that, no music, and now, of course, no object, no house. And that was a secondary part of this that I wasn't even going to talk about, but now I might as well. This was toward the end, toward the last about hour. No house gets the award for best house, best architecture. No architecture is rewarded for best architecture. And the problem is it's really not a problem right now. I mean, managing. I mean, it's not like somebody put a gun to my head. But, you can see that with a little bit of progression, you could get pretty messed up, by that kind of harassment. Now, what are the people? I believe that if there are people behind it, they've probably gotten on to my talk about MK Ultra or is a deeper, so we're going to have to talk about that for a sec. So the MK Ultra problem is that most of the information on MK Ultra is, and not just documents that they say are missing, but most of it is missing. And when it went underground, nobody kept track of it. And so then we went into, microbiology, right? The idea to reprogram cells to be something they never were. I can be reprogrammed to that my experience on Earth, all my memories, everything I've been through could be overturned. And in place of it, something, nothing, something else at the core level. And so what's the core level? Well, that's kind of where I think MK Ultra broke off into numerous other programs. All the programs that, and this is another important thing for people that want to research this, all the programs that MK Ultra and any of these mind control programs break off into are into subgroups. They're called sub this and sub that. And there's a reason for that, because it all, at some level, there's some kind of filing system that makes sense at that level. Sub 289, Project Mimic, sub 345, Project, so-and-so. And people ask me, and they go, well, and they've ordered the book. I advise you, if you want to know something about all this, you should order my book, Girl Next. It may be a fiction, but on the actual science part of what goes on and what's going on with with mind control there and what happens, you'll read nowhere else. Nowhere else. Nowhere else. And that is because, well, obviously, unfortunately, I have a knowledge of it that's a little just too closed for comfort. And that is, for example, how many volts does it take someone to dissociate from their current mental state? 200, 300? And for how long? And what's the duration? And what kind of gaslighting do we have to have in order to put those changes in place permanently? And what do we have to have gaslighting-wise, torture-wise, cosmically, and interdimensionally so that we can break that soul forever? And the answer to all these questions is available. The people that work at this stuff, they know it all. They know all those answers. And anyway, so now they're on my tail. And do I have any of those deflectors on my jet here? Do I have any of those deflectors that they send me a missile? It can get you, Yeah. So it's a very alarming nightmare. The idea of because what it's telling me, and it doesn't have any idea with it has nothing to do with me dabbling with AI music, which is which is. Every single person should end up doing that just to find out what it is. I really don't care. You know what I mean? I'm not Not trying to sell anybody anything or sell anybody tracks or publish anything, although I should. I do have some tracks that are world class. Not all of them, but there's a few. Meaning it would be good to share with the world. So what this means on the cosmic level is nothing. It's a negation of reality. Nothing is. Nothing is what it was. Nothing is what you grew up with. Nothing makes sense. Nothing awaits for new programming. What is that? No music that wins the Grammy Award. What is the sound of one hand clapping? One hand clapping is the sound of one hand clapping. It's pretty easy to get, but most people can't get it. However, your subconscious knows the answer to that already. And so it knows no music, no house, no ocean, no people, no trees, no life, no death. It understands that. One of the more, it's almost like turning you off like a switch, one thing at a time. Right? No earth. People, no such thing. So there was a struggle. Some kind of a lawsuit was brought to defend the people that were winning the Grammy for no song. And they won. They won the lawsuit, and everybody in so-called terrestrial reality had to adopt this as real. The whole world had to. So it wasn't just one person, me. It was all things. And so now we're talking about a lot of power. Now that I've sat here and told you about it, it doesn't sound that bad. I mean, I'm not a forensic expert, but I do know my way into, if you don't know the occult, unfortunately, we should not dabble in the occult, and maybe I wandered into the occult. I mean, I could have. I grew up with the occult. I'm not a practitioner of the occult. I've spent my life fighting it. My whole life fighting it. Because it's limited. Because it doesn't bring happiness. Because it only brings strife. Because it only brings pain. Because it only brings division. Because it only brings heartbreak. So therefore, I fought it. Anyway, that's it. Not going to belabor it. I don't know what you think of it, but you can maybe make comments there. I would enjoy hearing what Dr. Hall would say about something like this. I did do a couple interviews with him in the way back. It might be I hate to, to be, have these circumstances and then talk to somebody. It might be nice to talk to somebody and then have the circumstances after you've talked to somebody and not make it that you're just like, well, when the next emergency happens, then I'll reach out. Makes me a fair weather friend kind of thing. I'm not a fair weather friend. Time just goes by so fast that it's hard to keep up with people. That was a guy I have not kept up with, but I understand he's out there somewhere. I heard him. Where did we hear him, Dr. Hall? Remember he had the satellite. He had satellite. And I was hearing the Navy fight song in my head. He said he's got thousands and thousands of people that were hearing the Navy fight song exactly when I was. And like, he goes, and he was saying that was proof that there are implants in there. You know, but I mean, it's beyond implants. Aren't we beyond implants? Seriously. Implants are irrelevant. This thing that happened, this no music, wins the Grammy. No movie wins the Academy Award. No house wins the architecture contest. No reality wins the reality contest. You can see where this goes, right? You become a zombie. That's where you go. All right. I guess it's not very scary. Maybe I'm just...
That's scary to
me. Sounding the alarm. And I felt I should say something.
All of the dreams that you've been having are a bit scary.
Are they scary?
Yeah.
They're scaring me.
TP USA trying to bribe you?
TP USA tried to bribe me.
To join the world?
Well, I guess you could put it like that, yeah.
Basically. Come on, bitch.
Basically, it is what it is. What you said is very succinct. Why wreck it? They had the power to make people into objects, to make people into soldiers, to turn people into dedicated slaves. But that was several days ago. And, you know, they had me. I also had an encounter with like Barack Obama at one point. I had encounters with various people, and it always had to do with, you know, negotiating the terms of my surrender, which is not going to happen anytime soon. So God bless. Today it's just a little review of a great movie that I happened to have the pleasure of watched. We had saw a screening of this movie, and it's just unbelievable in that it hits so many points that the Zeph Report talks about. In fact, I would say it is required viewing for Zeph Report followers. Okay, so it's Nicolas Cage's new movie called The Surfer. It's not about surfing. It's about territory. It's about gang stalking. It's about gaslighting. It's about driving a person to the brink. It's about murder. It's about violence, and basically violence to the individual who is not in the group. It's about being accepted, being initiated, not just the cult on the beach, but with its tentacles that go everywhere. It's everything that the world seems ignorant about, but it is the structural selling of one's soul to join it and to be a part of it and to wax rich from it. In other words, what does it profit a man to gain the world but lose one's own soul? And that is what is well pointed out. And it's amazing how it plays out in a small drama about beach territory. You're not going to surf my wave. You don't live here. You don't surf here. And there's a charismatic cult figure who's like some independently rich guy that trains these guys to be bullies. But then you learn eventually, oh, but it's connected to finance. Oh, it's connected to law enforcement. Oh, it's connected. What isn't it connected to? Like, all of a sudden, they turn it on. Your car is getting fixed. Your finances are getting fixed. You're getting a house on the hill. Your wife and your boy will be happy with you up there. You'll be able to enjoy yourself. You'll have the protection of your tribe. And all is groovy. It's the only real problem that prevents the world from healing, which will make actually the only problem that the world has that will eventually make MAGA fail, if you like, or any movement fail, any political movement, all political movements fail compared to this. So, just in case you're wondering, just in case you don't know, they go there, not about surfing. It's the actual gaslighting is brutal. The driving to suicide is brutal. The initiation part is brutal. And the connection to the world system is brutal. And they managed to accomplish all that in a 2-hour movie that looked like it was about a guy that just wanted to return back to the home he grew up in and surf the waves he surfed when he was a child and introduce his son to those same waves. You know, but no. Somebody was standing in the way. So it's called The Surfer, Nicolas Cage, brand new movie, and completely recommended. There's some plot holes here and there. There's some issues, but I overlooked them because the filmmakers were brave enough to push it a little further, to almost go to Zeph territory, which is unheard of. They look at me and they go, "Well, you lived. You're still alive, so maybe we can go a little further." So, anyway, it's a dangerous, very dangerous movie, and thank God for them. And so, see it. It's not really a rewatchable movie. I give it a solid B in terms of movie making, and I give it an A for Nicolas Cage's performance. Give that an A, even A plus. I mean, it's fantastic. Cinematography is, not quite all that in a bag of chips, but you know what? It's a thrilling experience. It's amazing when you start watching it. You'll be going, "Oh my God, they're going there! They're going there! Holy shit!"
And it ties in with your own.
Oh, it ties in with everybody. I mean, all of us who have been, children of God, meaning hated by the world, attacked by the world, have experienced this gang stalking. And and the only thing they can say, like that, what's his name? Jay Boring, what is his name? Alex Jones tolerates him on his stupid show.
I forget his last.
What's his name? Jay Boring?
Dyer.
Jay Dyer. Anybody that says they have had gang stalking experiences, to him mentally ill, and he won't talk to, because he's an ignorant fuck. All right, with that, I bid you shalom.